Howdy Tabletop RPG fans, thank you for supporting this channel. I'm Rangleme, Grand Poobah of Game Design, and this Reviews Day topic is the Business Wizards RPG. The fine folks at 9th Level Games have published another funny role-playing game. This time it is Business Wizards RPG, designed by Nat Mesnard and Patrick Watson, with illustrations by Tina Bongorno. Chris O'Neill, Adriel Lee Wilson, and Heather O'Neill contributed. This uses the 9th level polymorph system as the core mechanic, where each player gets a unique resolution die and associated abilities and skills. The polymorph system has already been used in Mazes, an RPG of Dungeons and Dangers, and The Excellence, an RPG about princesses, and now the Business Wizards with more RPGs on the way. The writing and the art are humorous throughout, and the kinds of parody and breaking the fourth wall that you expect in a funny RPG by 9th level. The folks who brought you edition after edition of Kobolds Ate My Baby and several other tabletop RPGs and board games. You know I'm a big fan of Kobolds Ate My Baby and its beer system. The perfect bound book is 4 inches by 5 inches and comes in at 76 pages with an attractive cover, and is copyright 2020. I bought mine from my friendly local game store. The premise of Business Wizards is that you are all spellcasters or magical beings who live in an anachronistic world of big business and startups where wizards run their adventures like corporate projects. This leads to a ton of project management related puns and some real out-of-the-box thinking to achieve the synergy necessary for proper teamwork. Of course, meetings will kick off and wrap up any business venture. Oh, and besides polyhedral dice, you will want a whiteboard and post-it notes because that's how work happens. The key innovation of the polymorph system is that each character is unique with a special resolution die. This means that the party works together to accomplish most of the actions because an individual can't be good at all things. Creating characters involves filling out a resume to become a bizzard, a business wizard. Adventures start off with a kickoff meeting to do a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Throughout the rules, there are a number of excellent examples of actions by typical bizzards that might be attempted during an adventure. Each die has success numbers associated with it and also failure numbers. This means that the size of the die has an effect on the kinds of actions that a character might be good at. A project manager, Business Wizard's game master, doesn't roll dice. Instead, when a PM-controlled character attacks the player rolls to avoid it. When you fail, you take stress, and it's the player's choice of what condition that affects. There are 4 conditions, and when you have all 4, you are banned to work remotely and can only affect gameplay by sending obscure messages for the other players to interpret. Spell pages, or post-it notes, use a power word system along with Schools of Magic, and once you've used a post-it note, you lose it. Prepare well. You gain advantages to your role by having conditions, playing to your resume or SWOT analysis strengths, or succumb to the disadvantages of your conditions or your team's weaknesses. When all is lost and defeat seems certain, you pivot and redefine what success looks like again. When the success condition is actually met, the adventure is over. Adventures end with each player presenting an imaginary, if not necessarily truthful, powers point to the CEO, the Chief Enchanting Officer, who is portrayed by the other players to ask important questions and pass judgment about your stated accomplishments. The last sections of the book have full bios for several wizards and 3 example adventures with complete SWOT analysis to help players get a feeling for the system. Especially good is a section on tips for PMs, which helps us Business Wizards adventure. Ultimately, this system of unique resolution along with strong improv magic advantages creates a rather brilliant way for players to get into lots of funny trouble and feel epic finding solutions. I believe that this is the kind of RPG that is best played with at least one experienced player. There are just a few concepts that will be tricky when you play the first time. The Business Wizard's character sheet, called a resume, is color-coded and also broken into left and right sections. The left section has the major content for your character description. Choose a dice type. D4 equals Innovator, D6 equals Dynamo, D8 equals Cutthroat, and D10 equals Manager. Work together with other teammates to get a company logo. Pick an appropriate name and photo, and remember you are a magic being or a wizard. Decide which department you come from. This will affect your special knowledge or equipment. Decide which college of magic you learned and which major you specialized in, and your arcane motto, the wonky name of the university that you attended. List 3 words of power. These will be parts of the spells that you make on the post-it notes. The right section is a resolution table for kinds of work that you'll be called on to do, which is typically better if your die type matches the action needed. Your department is the thing that you were hired to do. Your die type determines which actions you are best at, if at all, including ideate, perpetrate, liquidate, and delegate. Rolling the highest number on your die activates your secret edge, which can be a magical item, a utility item that helps you out in tough spots, a magical weapon, something to attack your enemies, magic lineage, a power unique to your being as a magical creature, or magical retainer, you have a pet or familiar who is a magical creature. The last section on the right is for attaching your post-it note spell pages. I have many decades experience running game studios and using project management. I thought this was a brilliant adaptation of the polymorph system into a hilarious, anachronistic, magically powered corporate world of bizarre business. This episode is brought to you by Kaboomkin, the smaller, faster, funnier RPG of cartoon, fairy tale, post-apocalypse mayhem. It's time to blow stuff up. Get it now at www.kaboomkin.com. Thank you all for watching this episode. Hit like, subscribe, or ring the bell, or Booger will get you. If you want to see more videos like this, go to hopspush.com and buy an RPG or t-shirt. Do good, annoy evil, and bye-bye.